Hello, hello, beautiful women of the world. Welcome to my show. This is Dr. Angelika Christie, your show host of the show, Your Radiant Life After 45. Skills for healthy, happy, and prosperous women to live their purpose. I believe in a world where women are cherished and thrive because the world needs your light. And I have women over 45, actually more now 55, but this is 45 and over, that's fine, to discover and live their unique gifts confidently and with pride. And now and then, usually I just give you a presentation and then we can chat afterwards. Today, I have such a beautiful surprise for you. And I only do this maybe once every many, many, many months. Today, I have such an incredible lady with me. I met her not too long ago, a couple of months ago, and I'm in total awe of her. And her name is Kelly Pratt, and she is the founder of AthenaVillage.com. And so do it. Yes, so do it. I love that. Salons and second star consulting. So Kelly mentors and coaches creative entrepreneurs to find their best flow, their creative rhythm, as they turn their ideas and passions into communities, books, artistic creations, or fabulous new business ventures. So she is certified. She's a certified coach by Dr. Martha Beck. Maybe you know her. She is a very well-known mentor and professional for coaches. Martha Beck calls her a wildly creative soul who can coach you into confidence and fuel your passion. So Kelly used her extensive experience and intentional career to reboost and identify her sweet spot. I think she rebooted it a couple of times, and she will probably tell you a little bit about that. She loves to create communities both in the world and in the cloud. And in the cloud means here, online. So Kelly dives deep with her clients and members as they turn their passions and ideas into action, tangible products, artistic creations, books, or fabulous new business ventures. Welcome, welcome, beloved soul sister Kelly. We have become close because you have joined the Golden Life community. And so we are almost daily in contact, and I have already profited so much from that. Okay.
Thank you.
You want to add something to your bio? Otherwise, I just asked you a couple of questions.
Yes, go ahead and ask me some questions. You did a great job, and I have profited from my knowing you as well. I am part of living the golden life. Definitely over 45, absolutely over 55, and enjoying this, really benefiting from the wisdom and the knowledge. And I often say, I'm owning my crone years. I am enjoying being a crone, which was originally meant to be a woman of wisdom, enough with the Grimm brothers and that, pimply old witch thing.
Yeah.
I love being a crone, right?
Yes, exactly. I know once you understand the true meaning of a crone, you say, yes, I'm a crone, and I don't have any issue with that. Yeah, yes. So tell me, Kelly, why do you believe in community? Because you have your own community. Athena is an online community, correct?
Right. Yes, it sort of happened by accident. This, when you're young, you're told, make a choice. What is your major? What are you going to be when you grow up? All of those things that you're told by your parents and people around you. I didn't know. Well, I'm a Renaissance woman. I've been a lot of things, as you intimated in my introduction. But my path, which went like this, ended me up in the film and television world in my I was 28 when I moved to the big city of Minneapolis, St. Paul in Minnesota, US, and ended up being at this place called the Minnesota Film and Television Board. And what I needed to do there was pull this community of filmmakers, and people who benefited from that industry together. And oh my gosh, you have never found a more independent-minded group of people than people who are grips and gaffers and, all the people who make costumes or who are actors and all of that. And I didn't know I was doing this at the time. I was only 28, but basically my partner Randy and I were like, okay, how can we pull them together? And so we're in Minnesota, the middle of the US. We called up and we started calling people in Hollywood and elsewhere and said, are you from Minnesota? Do you want to connect with other Minnesota? And we pulled together based on commonalities. We started throwing little parties called the Ice Pack Party. For those of you that don't know, it's very cold in the winter in Minnesota.
Okay. When I hear ice pack, I think of athletes who train too much and need to, put in. But yeah, Minnesota, cold, yes.
Yeah. So we started pulling people together based on, yeah, I'm from there. Do you know so-and-so? Do you know so-and-so? And they started connecting. And long story short, people started looking forward to these silly little parties that we call the Ice Pack Party. And it went on for years. We created a book of these people, and that became the kind of the Bible for people coming to Minnesota to make movies like The Mighty Ducks and Grumpy Old Men and all of that. And that's how these folks got to know one another. I had no idea I was creating community, but I was. Flash forward many years, as you said, I'm a coach. I work primarily with women, and I discovered something about women. We often put our desires, our passions, and our passion projects on the back burner. I don't know, have you found that?
Yes, even with myself, even though I had it. Yes.
And I remembered that my psych professor had written "So do it" on a paper when I was in college, when I was just getting ready to graduate. And he was referring to my passion for dance. I had been studied ballet for many years, but then, Practical Kelly got in there and said, study business. So he wrote, "So do it." And I was like, really? I could? That same day, I walked across campus. I signed up for a class called Dance for Stage, which was taught by a gentleman named Eddie Gasper. This is in Minnesota, in Moorhead, Minnesota, across the river from Fargo, North Dakota. And I signed up for this class, and he was teaching us how to walk across the room. And he saw me because I'd had dance training, so I knew how to walk. I was, pretty graceful. And he asked me to audition for his company. Little did I know, Eddie had been Bob Fosse's assistant on Broadway before he moved to Minnesota. So he started this company. I ended up dancing, quitting my business degree, dancing with him for 8 years as a soloist, and pursuing my love of people and art and just my passions. So then when I decided after becoming a coach, I started finding out, like I said, that women needed to start paying attention to their passions. And the "So do it" memory popped in. And I thought, I need a way to pull these women together. And so that's where the So Do It salons were born. And so Do It salons for making it happen. And we would get together, and I needed a place for us to gather in between our meetings. And at that time, our social media stuff was starting to be anxiety producing for my clients. And that's when I found the platform that we are now using for Golden Connections and for mine. And I was like, you know what? I guess I'm a community creator.
And so really kind of stumbled into this. That wasn't, that just evolved into this naturally. It was a natural, yes, that's what I already have been doing. Yeah.
Yes. And I realized then that I didn't have to niche down very far to just say that this is about letting go of what we do for a minute and getting to know who we are.
Mhm.
So there's a quote that I love from Brene Brown that says, "What we know matters, but who we are matters more." And so that's what I've created my community around. It's women who do too much, who wear too many hats, spin too many plates, have too many things juggling in the air, balls in the air, and all that. And so my community story. We need one another.
What
And
right
don't you
now?
think?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. So, um, what are because we always have core beliefs, and usually from those core beliefs springs what we are really, really good at or what comes easily. So, what are your core beliefs?
Oh, that's a good one. Every year, one of my like holiday time pastimes is I go through that process where I have a card deck, and I deal them out and I go, okay, these matter, these kind of matter, these don't really matter that much. And every year I go through that process. And for me, at this point in my life, where, I am in that point where many women my age are, I'm caring for aging parents. My
Mhm.
father just went into memory care. My mom is here. I've moved my whole life to her home so I can care for her. And so core values don't ever really change, but what you're paying attention to changes.
Yeah.
One of my big core values right now is learning, and I'm calling it curiosity. So that's a huge core value. Compassion
Mhm.
is a core value. And back to what I just mentioned, that knowing who you are without having to state what I do. Many of us are transitioning. I'm still working, but it's not the number one important thing in my life. I don't know what I would do if I didn't work. That would be really hard not to have some sort of a professional outlet. But my number one is caring for my family. I also have a niece who I'm her guardian, and she's 43 and lives in a group home. And so, it's family right now. So things change. So curiosity, compassion, and, well, obviously community are
Mhm.
my core beliefs and core values. So if
I
that
mean,
answers the question.
yeah, when it comes to community, I mean, it's incredible how community springs up everywhere.
Mhm.
Sometimes I ask myself, do I only see it now springing up everywhere because I am with Kathy, I am I'm co-creating with her the
Yeah.
community, and you are part of that as well, the Golden Life community. And sometimes when you are involved with something or get something, or if you're pregnant, you see other pregnant women. If you have just bought a red car, you see all these red cars. Maybe I see communities
Yes.
everywhere. But I do know that, and not only because of COVID, even due to other things, but COVID really made that very,
Yes.
very clear, how disconnected we are from each other, and that we need community because it is our intrinsic value system. I mean, we come from tribes. That's
Mhm.
it's a primal need that we have to be in community with others. And so to be able to do this online is, yeah, I know it's not the same as community real where you can hug and that, but an incredible opportunity to meet. And if you do it right and they have the right platform, not be out there, on the web and all of these platforms where you have all kinds of strange people come in and you don't feel safe, but have a safe space, a sacred space where you can come together and
You know,
and you know
we haven't really talked about this yet, but I think it's really important to think about what do we as women need in terms of what I have heard termed psychological safety. And I was just dealing with this in my community this morning. Someone joined and they used a very generic profile image, their quote name, not their name at all. It was digital something or other. And so it was clearly they're just kind of coming into whatever, I don't know, lurk. But so as people who are creating community, it's so important to me in my community, in Golden Connections, as we're building this, to create a place of psychological safety where our members are coming there because there's anxiety in being out in social media. There's anxiety in the world. And I don't know about you, Angelika, but I want to create a place, and this is what I actually got this from a quote from Jane Fonda, who said, "I will never be in a relationship unless I feel safe, seen, and supported." Safe, seen, celebrated, and supported. Those were her 4 words. And so I thought, I love that. That's what I want my women to feel. And the safe thing, psychological safety. So how do we do that in creating community? So how do I, as a leader in this community, reach out to this person and say, you are more than welcome here. But part of being welcome in this community is that you need to be transparent. We need to know who you are. And part of that is putting a picture of you and starting with who you are before we talk about what you do. No walking around with your digital business card in your hand. That's not what we're not a networking group. You may end up networking, but that's not our first thing. And so it's a really delicate dance in creating that psychological safety for our members. And I'd be really curious to know, what your audience thinks about that concept and what helps them to feel safe.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a good point, because since we are just starting, you have your community, Athena Village, for a number of years. So you know this so much better. We are just starting with the Golden Connections in the Golden Life community. And so to be aware of, even though there is a process for them to come through, there could still be something that really is not, could be an irritant, or it's not fitting, or you have to be watchful that
Right.
this does not destroy, because feeling safe and trust is very delicate, and can be easily hurt and destroyed.
Yes, exactly.
So that's thank you for bringing that up. That was really important, for just, out of my own curiosity to know. And I love curiosity because I see myself an eternal student. Sometimes I say, oh my God, I didn't really get everything done what I needed to do on my list. I say, what did I do? I studied, I got pulled in incredibly interesting, and that's not on TikTok, anything. And it's a constant enrichment of, it's a dance. I believe really life is a dance anyway. We are dancing into different relationships in and out, and we are dancing through life and within our own belief system, needing to let go things, so make room for something new to come in. So all of it is in constant movement, which is beautiful. You are an artist, right? I mean, yeah. What kind of mediums do you use in your artistry?
Well, as I said, I was a dancer. My little sister, she's been gone 2 years now, she was the artist. She was a person who could sit down and with a pencil bring to life an eagle, every feather on the eagle. She was one of those. I could never do that, but I do a lot of visual journaling and collage, and I've done just a lot of, I dabble in different mediums. But what's funny about that question for me is I lived until I just moved back here in May in this fabulous artist community in St. Paul, Minnesota, that was created in an old brewery called the Schmidt Artist Lofts.
Oh, okay.
It was so amazing. It was in this big old brewery in the old brew district in St. Paul, Minnesota on the Mississippi River. Looks like a big old brick castle. 350 artists lofts in this place. And I lived there for the last 10 years. So every kind of artist you could ever imagine. There were authors, novelists, there were musicians, there were dancers, and there were dance studios and ceramic studios. So I was surrounded by artists.
Oh, I just get goosebumps. I mean, I can imagine the vibrancy of this place.
Well, it was like that. That's how it was. It was so much fun. And I was blessed because I was able to do all of my workshops and things in this fabulous space, because there were those kind of spaces as well. So one day I was sitting with two of my new friends in this space, Marisha, who was I think she's probably in her 80s now, and she was a published author and a librettist and a poet and all of these things. And she was so amazing. So she and I, and then this young woman who was about 10 years younger than me, who was a publisher, and she published children's cooking magazines. And so, I mean, everything you could imagine. And we were sitting there and we were talking about this medium question. And so obviously Jill's medium was publishing and writing. She was a writer at her heart. Marisha, a librettist, which is the person who writes the words to the music for an opera. I didn't know that before. And a novelist and a poet. And I was like, ladies, I have no idea what's my medium, because they'd seen my little paintings I'd done and my journals and all of this. And they looked at each other and looked back at me, and without a pause, they both said, people. And I went, oh, what do you mean? Because that's not what I was expecting.
It's not a common medium for an artist.
No.
Yeah,
but I loved that, because as a visual artist, I play in a lot of traditional mediums. But as a artist of life, I suppose, because I believe everyone is creative,
yes,
that thinking is creative, I work with people and I listen between the lines, and I love to help them pull out what is unique in them. And, like talking with you and Kathy and figuring out what's your superpower? What's the thing that makes you shine? And what's the thing that makes you go, oh, do I get to do that today?
I love that.
That's what I love to do. So
yes.
my medium is people, among other things.
Yeah.
I also dance in the hallway or in the aisles at a grocery store when the right music comes on. So still a dancer.
Oh, I love that. You really do that.
Oh, yes. Embarrassing my stepkids to the nth degree, but c'est la vie, right?
I cannot be embarrassed. Come on. I don't think so.
I don't think they are anymore. Chelsea is in her 30s, has her own stepkids now, so I don't think she could be embarrassed anymore.
Yeah. I hope that if I do things that I still love, I love dancing as well, that my grandchildren say, oh, that's Nana. Nana is just cool, oh, something like that, and because it's your own superpower, as you because this is really what it is. And we often don't really know this very well because it comes so natural to us. It's just part of who we are. And we believe that there's nothing too special about it, but it is for somebody who says, oh my God, you are so good at that. And you know that. Yeah.
Yes. And, that's one of the things I've found. And, as you as a coach and consultant and all of that, you've probably seen this with women as well. We often, and I love it when I can bring this out in a woman, we often denigrate what we are really great at. So my mom, besides being a fabulous mother and a cook and all those things, and a writer and all those things, she's a great cook. every time we sit down, she still cooks for me and her now, just the two of us. I don't cook. That's not something I do. I don't like to. I always love what she makes. I don't care what it is. And she's like, oh, well, I hope it's okay. I'm like, mother, own it. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I wish if we could have one effect, Angelika, on the women that we serve, it's to stand in their power and own what they're wonderful at. Wouldn't that be a great legacy?
That's exactly it. And in order for somebody to find their inner gift, you
Yes.
you cannot find it on your own. You need community. You need others you need to be able to try it out, to see what comes back, there is some resonance, and that's what I'm excited about in certain groups or workshops or so, that we can accomplish that women, that some women say, oh my God, I never knew I could do this. I always liked it when I was a kid or whatever. I dabbled into it, but oh yeah, now it's, to really discover that part that has been dormant for so long and develop that.
Yeah.
How amazing is that? And you never know what you can do with it. I mean, anything can happen with that.
This is a really silly example, but when I was in college, I've always been very limber. I was a dancer, so that's a really good thing to have when you're a dancer. But my limberness comes where I could, like, when I was younger, I just tried this the other day. I can't do this anymore. But I used to be able to hold my foot up like this over my head, and like dance around.
I used to be a ballet dancer as well. I mean, but I know, I remember all of that.
Yeah. I can still touch the floor with my hands, but I never thought of that as a skill. It was just, Kelly can do that. That's something she can do. She can take her leg and go like this and hold it up over her head. One day we were auditioning for a play, or I was auditioning for a play, Carnival, and they needed a person who could literally stand with her leg over her head and like turn in circles. And I was like, I can do that. And it was like something that was so silly, but it was a thing that I had never thought of as a attribute.
Right,
but
right.
Somebody noticed it and said, Kelly, that's amazing. It was like, wow, okay. So the more we can recognize those things that somebody doesn't know is an attribute or know is special,
Right.
and shine a light on it. That's fun.
And see that expression in their faces, because then they light up, right?
Right, exactly. Ooh, that's so much fun. I can't wait till we do that. And to create a space, Angelika, where we're introvert friendly, where we're extrovert friendly, where the people who want to just come and listen are welcome, where the people who can only watch videos and that's how they learn can, do that. So that where we are welcome and comfortable for however someone wants to consume and learn and be, that we make it possible for them to do that.
Absolutely. And excellent. Oh, Cassie really likes what we are doing here. And she says she can put her arm over her head and she can touch her foot. Good for that.
Yeah.
But I used to teach yoga, so, and I don't really do this anymore. There are all kinds of things, but I still do when I go on my walks and I get to the end of each where there are rocks and all of this. I still put my foot up on the rock pretty high, and then I bend over and I still can bring my nose to my knee,
Yeah.
But if I don't do that for a while, you have to keep on doing it. At a certain age, you get stiff so quickly. We have to to keep moving. We
My
have to.
best friend says, motion is lotion. That if we keep lubricating ourselves, and that goes for our minds too, right? Keep
Absolutely.
our minds going. And that's where the conversations that we can have, whether they're typed out conversations or whether they're conversations like this, that's where they all just,
Oh,
the more
beautiful.
we do this.
Oh, I can't believe we are at the end of our show. I just want to, if just within a couple of seconds, can you give me your most favorite quote?
Oh, my favorite quote. Yes. My dad was a private pilot and had us reading Richard Bach. And
Oh,
one of my favorite quotes from, I think it was Illusions, actually, his book Illusions, was, the people in your life are put there for a reason. What you do with them is up to you.
I love that.
Isn't that
That
good?
oh, it's powerful, it's simple, but then truth is usually simple. And
Truth is very simple.
yes. Thank you so much. I so much enjoyed it. We need to do this. I need you to have you back.
I would
Okay.
love to. This was really fun.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Come back next Saturday, and every Saturday, bring your friends. Yes, because we have always something valuable, and it's always fun. It's always lively and not a waste of your time. Okay,
Well,
enjoy the
share,
rest of the
share
day.
this in Athena Village, would you?
Oh, yes. Okay, we do that. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.